I'm Nigel Zelcer, and I'm a member of the TAG Board of Directors. I'm also partner and co-founder of Jabian, a local management and IT consulting company that bridges the gap between business and IT and makes your strategies work. This is our second year of being a platinum sponsor, and it is my honor to introduce today's speaker, Bert Ellis. Most of you in the room probably know Bert from his days of being the founder and president of IXL. In a very short period, 3 years, he took IXL to a $2 billion cap company. He had revenues of over $1 billion, projected income of $100 million, and had over 2,000 employees. It's my guess that some of you in this room were IXL employees. But with a 1-2 punch, the .NET and internet bubble collapse, the 9/11 tragedy, the last 2 years of IXL were not very fun for Bert. But he persevered. You know, he tried to salvage his company, and eventually he liquidated the company to Avenue A Razorfish. But during that time, he didn't complain, he didn't take a salary, and he didn't sell one share of stock. Bert is no quitter, and he has no shortage for enthusiasm around the technology sector. He now runs a media management company, Titan, that operates and manages 22 different television stations. This is his third media company, and before joining IXL, he sold his 2 previous companies that he found. He's also into the movie industry, with fellow Atlantan, previous Atlantan, Thomas Tull, CEO of Legendary Pictures. They helped produce It Might Get Loud, a documentary on electric guitar, including Jimmy Page, The Edge, Jack White. He's now working on his second movie on the US Navy SEALs. He's a movie buff, his favorite movie being Animal House. If you get to see him, he can quote every single line in the movie. It's quite amazing. But more to the point of this gathering, Bert started a new partnership with fellow colleagues that went to UVA, where he got his undergraduate and MBA from. And he, working with Barnes Stanley and Mike McQuarrie, they've started a new investment firm, and they have now invested in over 25 different technology companies. And we've asked Bert to come here today and give us an update on some of these companies. I also want to mention that we have Debbie Ellis in the crowd with us today, and his daughter, who he's been married to for 31 years, and his daughter Kaylee, who lives here in town and works for the Cartoon Network. They have another daughter, Brent, in Richmond, Virginia, and we thank you for coming here. So we've played Where's Waldo before, but where's Bert? Has anyone seen Bert? Can you guys give me a warm welcome for Bert Ellis?
Ladies and gentlemen, Bert Ellis, CEO, Ellis Communications.
You may find yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water
Oh no, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, out in the street, out in the street, out in the daytime, out in the night. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Out in the street, out in the street.
That was a big entrance. We tried. It's good to be back here in front of you folks. It's been 8 years since we put IXL, may it rest in peace. And 10 years ago, actually, 10 years ago, 2 months ago, we peaked at our market cap. And about 10 years ago this month is when the road to our demise began. It's hard to remember that. I'm hoping that at some point in time that when the press writes my name, I'm convinced that Maria Saporta's spell check has in it, when you put Bert Ellis in it, it says, comma, former CEO of failed internet company IXL. And those two have to go together. But someday we'll outgrow it. Regardless of that, I'm still proud of IXL, what we did. We didn't end it as well as we would, but it was a great first 3-year ride. What am I doing now is what they asked me to come and talk about. So I'll talk about a couple of our companies. Wheego, we just drove in here. I'm partners with Mike McQuarrie, you know as McHugh, and Bon Stanley. We put together this company, Wheego, with another partner, Tom Noonan, who you probably all know in this room. And we've decided that we can build a better car than Detroit, Germany, or Japan, a better electric car. And I think we have. What you're seeing right there, the Wheego, we have now sold 300 Wheegos in less than 6 months. That makes us, we have sold more electric cars, purely electric cars, than any other manufacturer on the planet, and you've never heard of us. Now, not electric golf carts, but electric cars. That Wheego you see right there is our model, the Whip. That car will go about 40 miles on a charge. It costs $19,000. It'll go, that car right there will go about 65 miles per hour. We have to govern it with an electric governor to either 35 miles per hour or 25 miles per hour, depending on state law, because this is what's called a low-speed or a medium-speed vehicle. That car right there, we are now starting crash testing. Over the next month, we've had to stiffen it up with steel and put the extra airbags and stuff in it. And we think we'll have a full-speed vehicle in that basic configuration out within 60 to 90 days. We will have beaten everybody to the punch. We will beat Government Motors and the Nissan Leaf by probably a year. We've got $2.5 million of R&D in that car. This all came from 5 of our pockets. That car, the chassis and the cab is built in China. The electrical components, the motor, the assembly is built in Corona, California. It's 54% American. We assemble it. We mate everything in Long Beach and Corona, and we sell throughout a dealer network in the U.S. and now in St. Bart's. So we're international too. The Wheego Life, which will be the full-speed car, we think is going to sell for $33,000. It'll have a 80 to 100 mile per hour range. We are going to go with lithium iron batteries instead of lithium ion. Crash testing is a dicey thing, but we think we'll pass and we'll be on the road with that. So just think of this. We've had $2.5 million in R&D invested in it and a bunch of scrappy entrepreneurs, and we beat everybody to the punch. And it's a pretty damn good car. There'll be one of them out front if anybody wants to try it, and this one will be up here. Take a look. We figure that General Motors has got $1 billion of R&D invested in the Volt, and if they're all at Twitter about the Volt, and if they ever quit talking about it and start manufacturing them, we think it's going to cost them $100,000 a copy to make a car that they're going to sell for $45,000. You know, you got to do that. You got to make that up on volume. They'll have better cup holders than we are, but we'll have as good or better technology than they will. They'll be a hybrid. We'll be all electric. So that's the Wheego, and that's one of the things we're working on.